Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, we are going to start our session now again. So be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line. So your right palm on your left and gently close your eyes and bring attention to your body. And mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to clarify ourselves, how this practice can help for us to develop our inner awareness. Because when you become more clear with the intention, and itself, it will develop some kind of determination that is very needed. It's a kind of like a conviction, and it brings the faith towards your own practice when you become clear. So that's why every day we will giving some informations and try to explain the value of this practice, because it is just not a moment you take to settle down and to relax yourself. It is more than that. Underneath this whole life, the most important part is our mind. Mind is the Purana, mind is the creator. So when it comes to that, the one of the most important thing that you need in this life to have a very good conventional life, and at the same time to develop a very good spiritual foundation, you need one thing. Remember that. That is clarity. Because when you become clear, naturally out of that clarity, understanding will arise. But as ordinary people, what is the mistake we normally do? We don't look into the clarity inside our mind, but we look for reasons. When you have disturbed mind, you cannot see the right reasons. Even though you see the reasons, you cannot recognize and understand the consequences. So then one of the most leading important part of your conventional and spiritual development is the mental clarity. So how you can develop that clarity? Because by thinking, you can't, as you know, when you think too much, you get so tired and maybe you get disturbed and maybe you make a lot of mistakes and you feel heavy, tired. When you spend so much mental energy, you feel kind of like so weak. So then, without gaining that kind of experience, how you can develop the clarity? For that, you need one thing. So that is called light heart. Remember that. Light heart means whatever you interfere with your mental practice, you don't become so gullible to yourself. You don't become so disturbed to yourself. You don't become so hard to yourself. You become more gentle. You become more calm. You become more relaxed with your mental practice. You always have the light heart. That's not the heaviness. So that light heart will bring another light heart. That's mean the shining. So that's kind of like an inner light. So one is you release the heaviness, and other thing is when you release the heaviness, it start to shine. So then it is your personal, you have to be aware. It is personal responsibility to keep a light heart. It is your choice. And deeply, when it comes to practice, in certain points, if you become more mindful regarding your inner practice, you will see sometimes we push too much ourselves. We're trying to do somehow, we're trying to get, no, we cannot do that way. Somehow you cannot get into tranquility state in the very first level. And somehow you cannot attain to enlightenment. If somebody say, oh, somehow I'm going to attain to enlightenment in this very life. So in a very conventional way, it's kind of like a very motivative expression. But deeply, it doesn't have the very clear understanding about the mind. Because that somehow means then the mental interference, the doing part, the self-centered mind overtake the practice. Then there is a doer behind this all. But our purpose is get out of the doer and just observe how things come to be as they are. So then when it comes to that, there is no observer, experiencer beyond that happening. Be very clear with that. So then when you mention, oh, somehow I'm going to do, so that means you challenge for the system. You cannot do that. So that's why always remember deeply when you practice yourself, be gentle and at the same time, be more soft and relaxed. Rather than doing something, let things to happen. But out of this all, only thing that you have to do, rather than interfering with doing something mentally or physically, be conscious to observe what is happening. So that is what we have to develop. That is where we have to go. And then when it comes to that, physical, mental comfort or the lightness, and that out of that you start to feel the happiness, comfort, satisfaction. See, this all interconnected. Otherwise, with the heavy mind, you cannot reach to happiness. You cannot gain it by effort. With the struggle, whatever the success you achieve, it itself going to become a struggle. You cannot enjoy it. There's no experience going to bring some kind of wisdom out of it. And then it's just the moment of happening, and you just maintain it. But your spiritual practice should not be like that. It cannot be a struggle. You have to enjoy this because this is your life. This is your moment. Deeply just sitting yourself. You have to be so comfortable more than any other posture. Observing inhalation, exhalation, you have to be more connected. More than any other thing. But sometimes, just imagine, you just sit for a moment and close your eyes thinking about watch Netflix. So that means you're watching Netflix is more comfortable than watching breathing. Or maybe, you are whatever the Dharma talks or listening to something or watching something. If you have the first priority for that, then you are still not recognize the value of this practice. Of course, that thing is very necessary for life. But when it comes to yourself, you have to have a mental discipline. Even though you do that all other things, somehow give your first priority to your sitting, observing your own inhalation, exhalation, to get into your tranquility state. And it cannot be a struggle. You have to be that should be the most comfortable moment in your day. So that is where you gain, naturally you start to find the deeper balance. And not only that, when you come to that, there is some magical things happen. One is this physical pain. As you know, in this life, we bound to this physical pain. We cannot escape from that. And you have to remember, in the future, you have no idea how kind of physical pain that is waiting for you. But if you find this comfort with the posture, tranquility state, you build up a very good immunity regarding your own physical pain. That is very necessary for you. Otherwise, because we have no idea what will happen tomorrow. But any kind of physical pain, you don't hold it as, oh, this is me, like that way. Once you come to the posture, once you become more comfortable with the posture, when it becomes the best moment, and it always help you to go through any physical pain. That doesn't mean you not going to get pain. No, it help you to go through. It build up a good immunity to go through physical pain. And not only that, Out of this whole practice, when you keep develop, observing inhalation, exhalation, as I mentioned, through the tranquility state, when it developed into the vipassana level, you start to recognize the very nature of this happening, being. And then deeply underneath, you experience this everything in your life because of the change. We bound to change. We become like this because of the change. We experience this everything with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. All this perception happens because of the change. This entire universe, generations to generations, experience and happening because of the change. So we are the result of the change. Once you know that, you become very, very friendly with the change. But look in day-to-day life, in the very conventional life, what is happening? We develop a system, or we develop a method or pattern to challenge for the change. We are not ready to accept it. We're not ready to go with it. We somehow try to find a way to keep the way we want. And the very nature itself, it is not something from our inner nature itself become a challenge for us. But through the practice, what happens? Deeply you get into understand and connect with this change. So that itself become the wisdom. And that will allow you to see that where you gain the clarity, because you not hold it to anything. When you deeply experience the change, you kind of like you start to have a bird's eye view regarding your own life. Deeply underneath in this dark space, that all the thoughts happening in you can recognize it. It's like all the thoughts happening, it's like a very daylight, that thing that you see the nature. You start to see your own thoughts. So that is the power of clarity. And that will build up another gift for you. What is that? That will build up a very good immunity for the suffering. Because suffering we cannot escape. It is everywhere. Not even so. Suffering, that we cannot escape from that. It is there. So then when you develop a deeper clarity, it becomes very good shield, protection for the suffering. And you can go through it. That is very necessary. So then remember, the one of the major important thing out of this practice, you gain clarity, mental clarity. For that, you have to have a very light heart. When you have the light heart, it's very easy to gain the clarity, not with the heavy, tight heart. Remember that. You can't get it. So that is a kind of like a very key point. And at the same time, when you have it, it is start to shine. And out of that shine, you feel the comfort. You feel the joy. It is not a you gain something, it happening, you experience it. And then it will build up another benefit for you. One is, it will build up a very good immunity to go with your physical pain. So whatever happen in life, and you will go through this physical pain. You're not going to collapse. Another thing is, it will build up a very good immunity, wisdom to go through this all the suffering and the change. And that is where this vipassana meditation deeply help for you to nourish your conventional life, and after that to gain the ultimate bliss of liberation. So then let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body, please, and observe head to toes 3 times yourself, and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please, and find the sensation. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, recognize inhalation as inhalations, exhalations as exhalation. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Also may all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chami sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjisami idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchutu. Bless you.